Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, we're talking another new stadium for Las Vegas with Peter Guzman. He's the president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce of Nevada. Here for the whole show on All Noon and Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
Hit the open road with a truckload of cash free play in one of 3 luxury travel trailers during the $250,000 travel time giveaways. Thousands in weekly giveaways plus $7,500 in grand prizes guaranteed. And a new travel trailer or $35,000. Now at the Carson Valley Inn.
Gear up for the 105th Reno Rodeo at the Double R Marketplace and experience the biggest little shopping adventure in the West. With over 100 vendors, you'll find everything from Western attire to home decor to tasty treats. Open every day during the Reno Rodeo at the Livestock Event Center Indoor Arena and South Exhibit Hall. The Double R Marketplace, Thursday, June 20th through Saturday, June 29th. Plus, shop online anytime at renorodeo.com for Reno Rodeo merchandise.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Story County is leading Nevada. Home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Story County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Story County is leading Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Peter Guzman. He is president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce of Nevada. It is a pleasure to have you back on the program, sir.
Sam, always a pleasure to be with you, and thank you for bringing this incredible forum to have our voice heard. It's really something that's very important, Sam.
Well, I appreciate that, my friend. Let's start out with the news that Rick Vallada broke this morning as we're taping this on April 29th, that there's going to be a new resort on what was the Wet and Wild site. It was the Jackie Robinson site, but now it's a new group that wants to put up the tallest resort on the 27 acres there, 2,500 rooms, and an NBA arena-ready stadium. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, sir, I've been in this town a long time, and I'm in real estate. That's my background. So I know the difference between an announcement and cranes actually moving around. So I want to be positive on it. I love the idea. That site desperately needs activity, especially for that side of the strip. So I'm hopeful, but I'm also, very cautious because the price of borrowing money right now is higher than it's ever been. The price of construction materials is higher than it's ever been. And so these are things that they're challenges, but Vegas is used to challenges. And, you look up and down the strip, and obviously there are people that overcame those challenges and have built incredible resorts. I'm hopeful that this is the case.
But now, how will this affect the plans for the NBA-ready stadium going down, or arena, I should say, down south?
Well, listen, that's what capitalism is all about, right? It's all about competition. And so let's see who's first. Let's see who's done it or who's going to do it. I mean, and you can't count out others. I mean, the NBA, I'm sure MGM would like to have the NBA at T-Mobile Arena. I'm sure that there's a lot of players in town that want to own a sports team. And so there's a lot of work to be done, man, a lot of moving parts here.
All right. So what other sport could come in that would make sense?
Oh, well, I think this town is absolutely ripe for Major League Soccer. The Major League Soccer is booming all over the place, and Salt Lake is booming right now. They just got their hockey team. They got a major league. They got a major league indoors. I mean, they got a Major League Soccer, MLS. I know that Bill Foley, the owner of our hockey team, is all over MLS and almost had one here already, but San Diego beat us out, and that franchise is already worth $1 billion. So soccer is booming. It's a great. I think it's great for Las Vegas. I think it's going to be a humongous hit. It requires about 15 to 18,000 people. It's a fast sport. It's done. The game starts and ends very quickly, so that means fans are back in the hotels. So I know the hotels love that. I think it's a big win, and I think that's one that's coming.
The soccer deal, when they play at Allegiant, these big international games, I mean, they have been huge sellouts right away.
Complete sellouts. I mean, I'm just telling you, soccer is the biggest sport in the world. Vegas, United States is catching up to it. Major League Soccer, this deal that they did in Miami, bringing Messi. Messi's an international, he's the Michael Jordan of the world. You got others that want to play in the United States, finish out their careers here. So I think keep a lookout on Major League Soccer. It's a big deal.
So here's the question. We've talked about esports on this program 100 times. When he was state senator, Ben Kiekefer said on this program that not only could you fill Allegiant Stadium with an esports tournament, but all the convention space around the stadium. I was watching an esports tournament a couple of days ago. There were tens of millions of people watching online, and a ton of people in person. Why have we still not gotten there yet?
I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't, to be honest with you, because I know there was a big movement for us to be really there, and then all of a sudden it slowed down. So not sure why, but there's got to be a reason why we haven't really jumped all the way in with this, because it is something that's booming, and it offers a whole other layer of sports betting as well. So, more to come.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked. I didn't ask Ben Kiekefer about this last week when he was on the show, but I wouldn't be surprised if he started working on that privately. Now he's got his own company. And then you're right, the Gaming Control Board and Gaming Commission have got to get the betting side nailed down. But I think that is just going to be absolutely huge when it comes around. So now, just one more thing about this potential new property. If they sit right next to the Fontainebleau, man, that just makes that whole north end of the Strip just crazy. I mean, you've got the Fontainebleau, the Sahara, this new place, the expanded convention center. I mean, that is now becoming, a central portion of the Strip.
Well, and don't forget the 52 acres there on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Sahara that Phil Ruffin currently owns. That they do.
Right.
They just had a massive festival there this past weekend. It was I never seen so many people, and that site is going to become something at some point. And so that part of the Strip has a lot of potential. But the real problem is that it's the national things that are going on. It's the cost of doing business. It's the cost of borrowing money. These properties like Circus, they need reinvestment into them. But if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't pencil out, you can't do it. And so that's an ongoing problem in my opinion.
Yeah, but you just to harken on that for a moment, Phil Ruffin bought the New Frontier. After the longest strike in the national history by the culinary, he immediately joined up with the union. It was 38 acres. He told me after he sold it at $1 billion profit, actually it was $1.2 billion profit, that he said that it was always a land play. It was never about the casino. It was always a land play. So the totality of the Circus site is actually 100 acres if you include Circus itself. So down the road, does Mr. Ruffin think that this is a land play, that somebody's going to come in and buy 100 acres essentially opposite the convention center?
Yeah, there's no question about it that it's a land play. And when things get more realistic, meaning the cost of borrowing money, and when we reinvigorate that again, oh, Circus is going to be in play. There's no question that that's a major play there for somebody who's really thinking about the big picture. And I think you're going to see others. It's just right now, the cost of borrowing money and the cost of doing business is so expensive. And with these funds who basically own our casinos now, that's a different model. Their model is to make as much money as quickly as they can. It's not necessarily changing the carpets and the beds.
No, you're right. But what's interesting too is I was looking at the stock prices last week, and Vici, that owns the land under these properties, their stock price has not zoomed up, but it's very consistent. Where you look at gaming companies and their numbers tend to go up and down over the course of the last year, Vici is very stable.
Well, of course. I mean, you think about this. So Caesar's Palace, on their debt, they just to cover their debt, the interest on the debt, it's $6.8 million, give or take a few dollars per day.
Per day.
MGM is $8.6 million. Just so the REIT, the Vici, the REIT that owns the land, gets the payment before the stockholders do. So the real good investment is in the REIT.
Well, yes, and that's always been the case. And that's always concerned me about these REITs. And we've gone through enough trouble with COVID where everybody was able to pay their rent. Nobody went under because of that. But I was always told, the land is where you can borrow money on. But it seems like these properties survive COVID. And if they could survive COVID, it's almost like they can do anything. And then you're seeing this expansion of Wynn and MGM into, UAE and Abu Dhabi. I mean, they are spending money all over the world and looking to go into all other kinds of markets.
Yes. However, I'm a real estate person. And so I am of the belief that owning your real estate is always the number one thing to do. Some of our gaming companies don't own their land anymore. The REITs do.
All right. Well, like I said, they survived COVID. I'm not sure how much worse it could get. And then when COVID was over and they came back so strong. I mean, you saw the gaming number go down this last month, but it only went down because the comps were so incredibly high that it was almost impossible for it to keep going up.
There's no question that the resorts are doing well in the towns. There's people here spending money, but you have to look at other things than just that. You have to look at, if you're looking longer term, you have to look at credit card debt in this country. Are people coming to Vegas on vacation on their credit cards or on cash? That's a big difference fundamentally for those who look a little further out. And so I look further out, and I'm just telling you, I see some issues, but I think that we can, the one thing great about Vegas is we keep reinventing ourselves. So now we have Formula One, we have sports. These are ways that we keep reinventing ourselves. We have real great people in our community that know how to reinvent ourselves. But we're all suspect to the federal government and what they do. And the moves, the policies that come out of DC affect interest on borrowing money. Inflation affects the cost of construction goods and services, construction materials. Projects that were announced a year ago aren't the same cost as today.
All right, so you opened up a whole can of worms here. So let me go through a couple of them. I think that what we're seeing in terms of the customer coming to Vegas, because the costs of things have gotten so expensive, that I think that a lot of the kids that were spending all their money on credit cards are not going to be able to repay those at 29%. I mean, so I think that you're going to end up losing that part of the market. But the people that can afford, $300 dinners, they're going to still keep coming. So I'm not sure that that's the concern. But here's a couple other things. So we had the head of the Reno Tahoe Airport on the show last week. I was talking to him about cargo in the belly of the planes. He was saying the cargo is way down, that not as much stuff is being shipped as before. So is this telling us that the credit cards are no longer the place where people want to spend their money to get goods and services?
I don't know. That's definitely something to keep an eye on, right? to see if that's a long-term pattern.
I hadn't seen that before. I hadn't seen that anywhere before. I'm curious to know from from Harry Reid whether that's the same story there, because cargo is a great way for airlines to make money. They sometimes in the past have made more money carrying cargo than they did passengers. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up then that you raised this issue is with Brightline getting all this money and having the nails, getting this thing started here the other day. That's going to be a huge project for Nevada and California. It
is going to be a huge project, and I'm hopeful that it's going to be everything that it's been announced to be. We still got a long way to go, my friend. I mean, $3-4 billion is a lot of money, but it's a $25 billion project. So we got a long way to go, but I think we're headed the right direction. And certainly, listen, anything we can do to get people here quicker or happier than sometimes what they face on that freeway is a good thing. Long overdue.
I just hope that Brightline starts the line either in Las Vegas or at its final destination in Los Angeles, and it isn't like the high-speed rail in Central California where it's in the middle and ain't going nowhere towards Las Angeles or San Francisco, because that has been the greatest boondoggle ever.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back. More with my good friend Peter Guzman, president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce of Nevada, after this time out.
Turn your clunker into a caddy during the Cadillac and Cash giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Weekly cash drawings including $5,000 cash and one top prize of $10,000. Win the grand prize of a Cadillac CT4 or $40,000 in cash. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Peter Guzman. He is president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce of Nevada. So, as you mentioned earlier, part of your business, your other business is real estate. How is the real estate market in Las Vegas? Because what I've seen nationally is that people seem to be adjusting to these new interest rates because they appear to be the new normal. Is that your sense in Las Vegas, or are you concerned that we're going to see another Blackstone moving in and buying up thousands of homes?
I do have some concerns on the residential side, which eventually always moves over to the commercial side. So yeah, I have some concerns. Vegas is a little different, little different in many ways. I don't see much construction of new homes. That concerns me. Interest rates always concern me because young people, they get bumped out. I mean, they get bumped out. I don't know if you know, but I have the honor of being on the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, and I sit in on these meetings and I get this information. It's just incredible. And I'm just telling you, housing construction is very important to Las Vegas. And so between land prices being, outrageous, and again, construction costs, cost of borrowing money, these things affect all of this. And so, especially for younger people, yeah, there's still high-end homes are selling, but what about the young people? And then our wages here are where they are, and so you can only qualify for so much home, right? And so all of these things do concern me.
Yeah, and what's interesting is prices are going up again in northern Nevada, and we're starting to see potentially an excess of apartments. And so that's kind of interesting that has sort of flipped around. We needed to build so many, and now we may even be potentially, at least in the short term, a little overbuilt. Let's take another quick break, and we'll come back. More with Peter Guzman after this timeout.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Peter Guzman. He is the president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce of Nevada. So you have concerns about young people getting into housing.
I do, because I'm watching these trends and movements of even out of our university systems, and of saying, listen, home ownership's not as important as it used to be. I find that to be total BS. Sorry, I almost went the wrong way. Total BS. 78% of all millionaires in the United States, all wealth building, is done through real estate. You must own your own property, and as many as you can. And so that's what we need to be teaching young people, is the creation of generational wealth comes through real estate.
But you don't necessarily learn that when you're young. I mean, I think that, I bought my first house.
I did. My dad came from Cuba and taught me at a young age, the American dream is owning your own home. It's not moving into an apartment. And I'm not anti-apartment. I know that that's a necessity for the moment. But let's never go away from teaching our young people that they should be purchasing and selling real estate.
Well, I think part of that is we also teach them we have to teach them not to move out of their parents' house so they can save money to afford the down payment.
100%. And by the way, that's a very Latino thing. Just saying.
Oh, no, it is. And it's just a wonderful thing, because where people complain that they can't raise the money for a down payment, you have to have 14 jobs and live with your parents and have your grandparents take care of your kids.
Sam, that's exactly what me and my high school sweetheart, who is my beautiful wife of 34 years, did. We actually saved our money by staying home until we got married, and then we were able to do a down payment on a house.
Yeah, and if necessary, the relatives chip in with the rest of the money. Okay, so the other big issue that ties into all of this is the lack of our ability to get any of these lands bills passed in the state of Nevada. We can't get the Clark County one done. We can't get the Washoe County one done. I mean, you know, Mark Amity was on the
Sam, now you're just firing me up, man, because every time I hear these elected officials talk about affordable housing and affordable housing this and I look around and I see nothing but raw land that we don't own, that we don't control, that we can't do private partnerships with, public-private partnerships, which is the way out of housing crisis and affordable housing. I call it dignified housing. I don't like affordable housing. I like dignified housing. Those projects can't happen because we don't own our land. We don't control our land.
Well, Mark Amity was on the program a few weeks ago, and he said he missed Harry Reid because when Harry Reid said it was going to get done, it got done. And I thought that was a fascinating thing for a conservative to say about the liberal leader. But pretty much an honest statement. Hey, we are out of time. This has been a great conversation. It's just flown by. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks and having you back on the show.
Sam, don't make it so long before we do this again. We got a lot to talk about.
You got a deal, man. Thank you, Peter. And we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can catch us online 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com, or you can download the podcast wherever you like to get your podcast. We'll see you on the next broadcast.